Hi everyone, this is another Brexit video, and I'm just showing this one example here of why so many of the wealthier tiers of British society, especially those who benefit from offshore tax havens, want us to leave the EU. This is just one of the reasons. You know, there's a host of other legislations that stand in the way of rampant corporate exploitation, like, for example, all the legislations to protect the environment and legislation to protect workers' rights and give the women right to maternity leave, and so many those little legislations that people in Britain have just come to take for granted, and then they won't realise how important those legislations are until they're gone and women are being told, oh no, sorry, yeah, no maternity leave for you. Check out America, where there is no maternity leave for women. Women are not entitled to maternity leave. Okay? Check it out. Remember, Donald Trump supports Brexit. That's all we need to know. A man who likes to sexually assault women and brag about it and grab women in the pussy and perv on young teenage girls who are participating in his beauty pageant, okay? He loves Brexit. That's all you need to know. Do we need to go any further? Do we need to go into the ins and outs of everything to understand that Brexit, whichever way you get it, is a bad deal? A bad deal with a deal and a bad deal with no deal, that the majority of British people are going to suffer. And why? What is at the heart of it? Why did over £1 million get funnelled into the Vote Leave campaign? Yeah. Why was Cambridge Analytica employed to do its dirty work on Facebook? Because they're worried. They're worried. The EU wants a blacklist, from paradise to blacklist. EU's net starts to close on tax havens. They're all worried about the money that they've robbed off everybody. And now they want to rob us further in order to protect themselves. This time of our rights as well. It's like, hey, come on, we've got to protect our tax haven. And I know at the same time we can strip them of human rights, workers' rights, environmental protection laws, and just about every other right you can think of. I'm sorry, you're so crazy, Britain, you're so crazy. And I know that the majority of people, that there's a majority among the people who voted Brexit right now who regret their choice. That's the fact of it. And Parliament knows it. And yet all they're talking about is whether or not we should have no deal or take the deal. I'm sorry. Both of those go away. We want to remain in the EU. We realise we were lied to. The referendum was actually unlawful because it was infiltrated and manipulated by a foreign power. People were lied to about something. And this wasn't a political vote. This wasn't a political vote, really, was it? It was about trade. It was about jobs. It was about the welfare of our nation. And people were persuaded to believe, okay, that it was better for the welfare of Britain to leave the EU. Well, the facts and evidence, now that people of Britain have suddenly woken up and started to get a grasp of the real world that they're living in, now they understand that, oh, no, actually, it's not good for Britain. It's bad for the pound, it's bad for jobs, it's bad for our freedom of movement, it's bad for our human rights, it's bad for our workers' rights, it's bad for our environment. Who wants to break up the EU? Because that's what it's about. You chip one block off and then you chip another block off, and you get this far-right extremism, nationalism going on in every nation. You know, let's all adopt the Ku Klux Klan slogan. America first, Britain first, Italy first, Spain first, France first. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want a Ku Klux Klan divided Europe. Okay, because that's the slogan of the Ku Klux Klan. You know, all this nationalism. What is it really about? What is it really about? You know, people complain, oh, Britain's no longer British anymore, you know, we've got no British culture. I tell you, we've not had British culture since enclosure arrived and took all our common lands away. So have we got back to that? No. Did we get close to it with the welfare state that at least gave us a provision of something to fall back on when jobs were scarce? But no, they're even taking that away. What about all the workers' rights that we fought for? Oh, they'll be gone. They'll be gone. Because we didn't fight for them, did we? We in Britain, we didn't. It wasn't British people who implemented the welfare state, was it? The survivors of World War II. It wasn't British people who created the NHS, was it? Who voted for it? We didn't vote for the welfare state and the NHS. We didn't want workers' rights, did we? We didn't want the right to pensions and maternity leave, did we? We didn't want to end discrimination, did we? Oh, we did, actually. But, oh, suddenly, we'll be leaving the EU. Oh, suddenly, we can abandon all those things. Just so a few, actually, in my opinion, sadistic people, malicious people, can have a laugh at intelligence and say, ha 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 ha, we idiots won and you're all going to suffer now, but we're going to enjoy our suffering because we just love watching you suffer. Seriously, that is one fucked up psychology. And who created that fucked up psychology? Nobody, except this Thatcherite madness that we've been living in for how many decades now? This is what it's about, people. Now, I've written to my MP. I've said, get lost with your deal and get lost with your no deal. I want to remain. EU has given us the option to do that. We have the option to do it. Let's start talking about it, please. And screw the so-called revolutionary backlash that you're going to get if you decide to scrap Brexit. Because actually, as I say, the majority of people who voted Brexit wish they hadn't, because they didn't really understand what they were voting for. And whose fault is that? The BBC? Parliament? The Believe campaign? Liars? Cambridge Analytica? People fed just absolute rubbish. Oh, well, you know, we'll be free. We'll be free to buy from wherever we want. Well, I'm sorry. You know, when you're really desperate for food, it's not a good position to be brokering deals with, okay? You nutters. Oh, all right, America. All right, we'll let your health insurance companies who are doing such a crap, evil job in America with the American healthcare system, we'll let you come and run the NHS. Just give us some food. Are you crazy? Are you crazy, Britain? And you want to talk to me about sovereignty? Sovereignty over what? Sovereignty over what? What? Sovereignty to choose to give up all our rights? Sovereignty to be able to feed our children Monsanto-laden crap? Stuff that's banned in the EU because it's dangerous. Yeah. Oh, but, you know, we'll have our legal system back. What legal system? It's a crap legal system. It's so crap that thousands of people every year have to turn to the EU to get justice because our courts are not providing justice. They're not providing justice to children. Children in this country. Do you know what a child's justice in this country is? An abomination of the EU Child Protection Directives. That's what is justice for children in Britain. An abomination of the EU Child Protection Directives. And believe you me, that is not an OTT statement. That is a fact. That is what our children are getting. An abomination of the EU Child Protection Directives. That's why Britain is happy land for paedophiles, okay? And let's be honest. Let's call them for what they are. Pedo sadists. They enjoy inflicting pain on children for their own pleasure. So, you know, think about it, people. By leaving the EU, you are protecting every single tax haven and person who's benefiting, corporation that's benefiting from these tax havens. That's what you were voted for. You are voting to protect the tax havens. Okay? That's the fact of it. No sovereignty, no sovereignty. Don't talk to me about sovereignty when you've scrapped our human rights and you've scrapped our workers' rights. Okay?